Broussard to tell us who is under duress in Week 7. Bunch of quarterbacks under the microscope this week, I would imagine, as we near the midway mark of the NFL season. How did that happen already? Things are getting serious, so Broussard, tell us which 5 players are under the most duress entering Week 7.
All right, Jennifer, shout out to Kevin Wilds. Thank you for the nickname for the Bud list. Broussard's under duress. I love it. Nick's jealous because we don't have like a fun name for his tiers other than Nick's tiers. So I was thinking though about changing it to the ABO. The ABO list for this week, the about to break out list. Because last week, if you didn't notice, all 5 guys on the Bud list had breakout games. They either had their best game of the season or one of their best games of the season. So, guys, it is not an insult, players, to be on the Bud list. It's an opportunity, a precursor to you having a breakout game. That said, here we go. At number 5, Case Keenum, Cleveland Browns. Now, look, I know a lot of times you don't expect much from the backup. Okay, so if he goes out there, doesn't play well, he's a backup. This is a little different. First, he's got the history with Kevin Stefanski, the head coach in Cleveland. They went back to Minnesota, together, and Case did well there under Stefanski. And the Browns are at the bottom of the tough AFC North, and so they can't afford to just lose games. They need a win against Denver so they can remain in this playoff hunt. I know it's early, but still, every game counts. And he's going to have to go out there and deliver a victory. And he's going to have to do it without Nick Chubb, who looks like he won't be playing, without Kareem Hunt. OBJ might not be available. So a lot of his weapons are going to be gone. But still, they need a victory in Cleveland. Case has to deliver. At number 4, we've got Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia. Look, nobody expected a great season from the Eagles, but you are trying to find out, do we have our franchise quarterback? We jettisoned our old guy, Carson Wentz, for Jalen Hurts. Is he going to deliver? Look, he's been up and down. He's had his moments, especially running the ball. He leads all quarterbacks, including Lamar and Kyler, with 5 rushing touchdowns. Problem is, through the air, he has struggled, especially the last 2 games, completing 54% of his passes, not throwing for many yards at all. And one local columnist, believe it or not, actually called for them to start Joe Flacco. All right, so the pressure is heating up in Philadelphia, where those fans don't have much patience. And so Jalen Hurts has to deliver. Remember, Deshaun Watson, now the rumors are out there that Miami might go ahead and trade for him in the next week or so. Well, Philadelphia was also mentioned as one of those teams interested in Watson. Could they be interested if Jalen has another bad game? So he's got to deliver to quiet his critics. At number 3, Sam Darnold. Now, look, first 3 weeks of the season, Darnold was lighting it up, averaging almost 300 yards a game. They were 3-0 in Carolina, and all the talk was about blaming the Jets for the sluggish start to Darnold's career when he was in New York. Well, he has come back to earth with a thud. They've lost the last 3 games. Last 2 games, he has really played poorly. He's throwing interceptions, not throwing for much yardage, very much looking like a backup. All right, and again, I mentioned Deshaun Watson because Carolina was also a team that was rumored to be interested in the Houston quarterback. So Darnold's got to deliver. Now, Matt Rule's sticking by him, the head coach, but they got to be wondering, is this our guy with the way he's been playing? So Sam Darnold needs to break out. All right, at number 2, let's go to San Francisco. Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy G. Now, he missed the last game because he was injured. He's back now after a couple weeks off. And Trey Lance, who started in his place, the ballyhooed rookie, didn't play that well. He was okay, but not well enough to take Jimmy G's job if Jimmy G continues to play well. Now, they're still alive. They're 2-3. Obviously, they're in that tough division out there in the NFC West. So, like Cleveland, they need a W to keep their heads above water as well. If Jimmy G goes out and plays well and gets them the victory, then I think everybody will quiet all the talk about Trey. As long as they're in the playoff hunt, you got to stick with Jimmy G if he's playing well. Once they fall out, though, it's all about the future, and that's when you got Trey Lance. So Jimmy G wants to stay on the field. deliver, my man. Abo, breakout. You're about to. All right, at number 1, the guy that is under the most duress. Let's go to Detroit, Jared Goff. And look, this is going to be tough. We saw how emotional it was for Tom Brady to go back to New England, and he went back as a champion. He went back as a victor, right? He owned New England, all right? Not so with Jared Goff. He's going back to the place he played his first 5 seasons. That's L.A. against the Rams. But he's not going back as a victor, guys. All right, he's going back as the guy that they were glad to get rid of. All the talk in L.A. is look at his replacement. We are so thankful. We are so grateful to have Matthew Stafford out here. And now Goff has to go back into that. And on top of that, Dan Campbell, his head coach, just said last week, he's got to step up and play better. He's got to deliver. He threw him under there. So now all the pressure is on Goff. There are even some people in Detroit calling for them to start his backup, David Blau. David Blau. All right, so Jared Goff, you are under duress, my man. But remember, you're about to break out if you look at it as an opportunity. All right, Nick, give me love. Give me love.
Here's the thing, Broussard. You said you like the nickname the Bud List. I'm going to give you an alternative for this week's edition. The MUQB list. The mediocre, uninspiring quarterback list. Like that's here's my reaction to this list. All of these guys.
Jimmy G.
Like nobody, here's the problem about these guys being under duress. No one expects much of anything from any of them. Goff stinks and has been traded. Jimmy G's replacement was just drafted. Darnold stinks and has been traded. Jalen's a young player in a second-round pick that is almost like found money. And Case Keenum has 2 fans in America, his mother and Jenna Wolfe, who I'm not convinced as of this moment are not the same person. I got to go into the archives to figure that one out. And so, I don't really expect anything from any of these guys. I'm going to put a quarterback on there who has won an MVP and who quietly, no one knows this, it seems like, aside from the city of Atlanta, L. Duncan, and myself, is a game away from being 500, as promised by your guy, Nick Wright. Matt Ryan, you got the week off after the trip to London. You're now playing Miami, a Miami team that is really in total disarray. You need to win this week. Then you face Darnold the next week. You get above 500. Your old buddy Nick Wright looks like a genius, and Matt Ryan stabilizes things in Atlanta. The alternative is, if after really having a less than inspiring effort in London against the woebegone Jets, if they lose to Miami, then I think Atlanta starts saying, okay, we have to turn the page from the Matt Ryan era. If after last year's disastrous season, which they pinned on the coach, they draft a tight end in the top 5, try to give him more weapons, if this year they don't at least show something, then I think Atlanta starts looking to the next era of Falcons football. This is arguably the easiest game left on their schedule with the way Miami's playing. So I think Matt Ryan, I think they will win, but I think Matt Ryan is in a spot, Broussard, where this is a must-win for him and for the Falcons.
All right, here's the thing, Nick. The Bud List is not about making Nick Wright look like a genius. All right? That's too hard to do. I mean, that's like doing the impossible. I mean, we can only do so much, all right? So it's not about that, all right? And then you rip my list because I've got mediocre quarterbacks on there. And you throw another mediocre quarterback on there. At least this year he's mediocre.
Well, I was trying to stick with the theme.
When I put your boy Pat Mahomes on, you get mad. Oh, he's too good. He's above this. He's above being under duress. So which is it? I can't have the great ones on there. I can't have the poor ones on there. Wilds, I don't know what to do.
I just want a good list.
I think Nick just wanted to make a change.
Wilds.
He just wanted to make a change.
That's all. I just want a good list.
Okay, so I'm going to put somebody out there whose reputation is beyond reproach. But I have to be honest here. I'm an honesty broker on the show. So I would like to add the Patriots mascot, Pat, onto the Bud List for the following reasons. I have personally been trying to sell that the Patriots are 2-2-0-2. 2 wins, 2 losses, 0 ties, 2 close plays. 2 close almost wins. Problem is, Other people are out here saying that we're actually 2-4 and that we're 0-4 at home for the first time in 22 years. That's out there. We're playing the Jets at home. We already cooked up Zach Wilson. That's fine. But Broussard, this is as close to a weird must-win game for Pat that you've ever seen in your life. Because people are going to start saying, if we lose to the Jets, or if it's close, like the Texans game was close, what's going on? What is going on up in Foxborough?
They're going to start
Are we worse than we were last year, even spending $150 million? Isn't it kind of weird that Dak Prescott and the Cowboys cooked us up for 567 yards, the most in the coach, Pat's coach, not naming him, but that's the most his team has ever given up in a game. So I'm putting Pat on the list because he needs to step up, open up the offense a little bit. Because as I'm holding the line at 2-2, 0-2, if we fall to
Broussard
2-5, there's gonna be loud grumblings, my friend. Those aren't gonna be muskets going on.
Let me ask a question. Broussard. How would you feel if we made a slight addition to Wilds' addition? Which is, let me translate this. Wilds is petrified that Zach Wilson's going to outplay Mac Jones on Sunday and the Patriots are going to fall to 2-5. So what if we replace old Pat Patriot with an actual player and put Mac Jones on there? Would that, how does that resonate with you? Because that's what Wilds is really saying.